This is WCIX TV channel 6, Miami, Florida. It's 10 o'clock. You know where your children are, and it's time now for the 10 o'clock news for this Friday, December 15th, 1967. Good evening, everybody. I am Peter Wiggins, and here's what's happening. In Hollywood, police arrested 3 members of their own force last night and charged them in connection with several burglaries and attempted burglaries at a quick stop food store here. Captain Walton Nichols, chief of the operations of the Hollywood Police Department, said the arrest climaxed as an intensive interdepartmental investigation of the break-ins at a local general store. Patrolman Donald Ortega, 30, was charged with breaking and entering with intent to commit grand larceny. And Patrolman Daryl Wilson, 38, and John Devine, 30, were charged with receiving and concealed stolen property. All 3 men were suspended pending disposition of the cases. Grants, Mexico. Red Cross officials said 1,502,000 motorists were stranded in Grants by a winter storm, and Governor David F. Cargo declared a state of emergency and activated New Mexico National Guardsmen to rush supplies into the city. Now, motorists were caught in heavy snow, which bugged traffic of the United States. Route 66 and Interstate 40 east-westward here. The Guardsmen transported some 4,000 meals, 500 blankets, touring cots, and other supplies into the northwest New Mexico City. But state police reported that traffic had begun to move slowly across the route today, and that there were indications some of the stranded motorists did not have to manage to leave. The Red Cross in Grant said about 50 persons were accommodated during the night at Air Emergency Quarter to set up a community center, but many motels were reported still were filled. Meanwhile, the savage storm continued to torment our southwestern areas, and snow continued to fall from the Southern Rockies to the mountains of the southwest, while rain poured in low-lying areas. Heavy snowfall also hit southern Utah and Colorado. Travelers' warnings were struck from western Texas and the New Mexico plains to Nebraska as a storm weakening edge eastward. Freezing winds with roads slippery were expected across Kansas and Nebraska. In Point Pleasant, West Virginia, the collapse of a suspension bridge to the Ohio River today took at least 5 lives and left 28 persons missing. At that space, 75 cars and trucks plunged 80 feet into near freezing water. The 40-year-old bridge linking Ohio and West Virginia fell during the late afternoon rush hour on US 35. Commuters and Christmas shoppers had jammed this 1,750-foot span. Close to the hospital at Galapagos, Ohio, 4 miles from Point Pleasant, received bodies of 4 men and 1 unidentified women. Ohio and West Virginia authorities agreed to the death toll once time search of the river depths would go much higher. Officials said there was little chance of finding any more survivors amid the tangle of the concrete and the steel in the river. Anyone who comes out of the river will not be breathing, said John Epling, the Galen County, Ohio prosecutor. He was named by Ohio Governor James A. Rhodes to supervise operations on the Ohio side. There is no question that this final figure will be much higher, said West Virginia State Police Captain J.D. Preston.
Roads out there pretty slick right now. How concerned are
9 persons were hospitalized at the Galapagos and Point Pleasant. Searchers were outside. Torches worked throughout the night trying to untangle vehicles and locate bodies in the wreckage where a long bridge section of the Ohio and fell on the land. Divers resumed their search at dawn. Traffic was bumping in both directions when the bridge fell at 5:10 p.m.
Keep an eye out. All right, John, we'll see you again in a few minutes.
The bridge superstructure and concrete floor tumbled on top of the cars and trucks as they hit the water. West Virginia Governor Horace C. Smith and Governor Rhodes pledged to resources at a two-state investigation to determine the cause of the collapse. Both came here last night. That old bridge was bounced up and down. It was the sobbed Howard Boggs' 18-year-old wife and his 17-month-old daughter. Both among the missing were in the car with him when it plunged into the channel where the depth variously estimated from 30 to 70 feet, and all of a sudden everything was falling down. My feet touched the bottom of the river.
Allegedly for hitting the pedestrian.
3 Dade County were killed in 3 auto accidents tonight. The victims were Mrs. Gertrude Cook, 70, of 1231 Red Road, Mrs. Catherine Law, 43, of 4224 Northwest 32nd Street and Avenue, and John Kovap, 30, of 1865 West Flagler Street. Mrs. Cooks was in a car with her husband, Samuel, also 70, when it collided with another auto at Southwest Safe and 27th Avenue. Police reported Cook was in satisfactory condition at Mercy Hospital. Police said Kovap was hit at about 1:50 a.m. at Southwest 40th Street
Many of us have thought Fox 25 said
and 71st Avenue by a car driven by Michael Sinek, a 39-year-old from 3440 Southwest 84th Avenue. Mrs. Law was also killed at Northwest 43rd Street and 32nd Avenue at 9:30 p.m. as police said the driver was Andrew Bogdanowicz, 61, of 3225 Northwest 99th Street. Dates 967 traffic fatalities. New total 199 compared with 245 a year ago. In Rome, Greece's military dictatorship offered King Constantine the chance to be returned to the foreign he abandoned Wednesday after calling the nation a rebellion that never really got started. The condition of return, diplomatic sources said, was a live purely as a figure with no powers. The 27-year-old monarch was reportedly ready to refuse the terms he often sourcely indicated, and was demanding instead that the government resign with a requirement for his coming back. The gentleman's offer was carried to Constantine's exile headquarters in Mumbai. Archbishop Equimanius prominent a Greek Orthodox church close to major figure in Greece to the royal family and once the king's personal confessor. The bearded 62-year-old churchman's hurried trip to the Romans emphasized that the regime's anxious to bring Constantine back. Without him, the United States held up his recognition, and Britain said it considered its diplomatic relationship with Greece no longer valid. Arriving at Rome's filmmaking airport, Equimanius left immediately by a diplomatic car for the Greek embassy where the king was taking refuge. The regime's willingness to let Constantine return was made known at the Athens news conference by Deputy Premier Brigadier Stelianos Patakos. He appeared to be giving the king much weight at the possible in making an interest in return, returning to the king's appeal to the Greek too. We voted against the Junta for democracy and freedom. Patakos said only he felt Constantine was not responsible for this action from a constitutional point of view. The king left the country by himself. He said, "We did this way," and he did.
Found the answer might lie right back here in the
Washington. Secretary of State Dean Rusk said that the United States will wait for a while before recognizing the Greek military regime. He expressed hope that Greece, a member of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, will move it as promptly as possible to a constitutional government. Rusk commented for newsmen yesterday after returning from NATO's Ministerial Council meeting in Brussels. The State Department reported that G. Frederick Reinhardt, U.S. ambassador to Italy, called on King Constantine's request. The Greek monarch failed to Rome after his abortive attempt to lead to a counter coup this week against the military officers who seized control of the nation in April. The department said that the meeting was informal but released no details on it. The Oklahoma Weather Bureau issued the forecast. Weather forecast. Cloudy with light freezing rain. Now it's getting on the local weather. Right now, our current conditions at Miami International Airport at 10 o'clock. Temperature at 73 degrees. It's dew point about 67 degrees. The humidity is 1%. Barometer 3.06 inches. Visibly 10 miles. Wind southwest benign condition. Clear skies. Let's take a look at our current conditions around the state. 73 degrees as our temperature down in Fort Lauderdale, 71 in Key West, 68 out in West Palm Beach, 68 out in Melbourne and Townsville, 71 out in Daytona Beach, 71 out in Jacksonville, 71 is our temperature out in Fort Myers and out in Sarasota, 65 in Tampa, 70 degrees is the temperature from Orlando, stretching to Ocala, down for Gainesville, down for Tallahassee, stretching down for Panama City and Pensacola.
for the front page and article which
Weather-wise around the nation, for tomorrow will be cold weather for much of the Great Lakes and snow. Lake effect snow stretch from eastern Michigan, stretching down through New York State and up in northern New England and stretching in Atlantic Canada. High pressure will be stretching in Missouri, and in the Gulf of Mexico we will be doing some mild weather to much of Florida, where rainy conditions from Florida stretching out over the Gulf States and stretching out much of Texas down in southern Oklahoma. And another batch of rain covering from western Texas stretching in Mexico down for Colorado. And a couple of batches of snow and showers from eastern California down for Nevada.
investigation into the brothers.
And stretching in Utah and northern